Hello and welcome to our full body stretches with a chair. For the stretches that we are going to do in this video, all that is required is that you have a little bit of space and some type of solid chair, like this one, preferably without armrests, so that it's easier to move around on. One that won't slip and slide on the floor underneath you is also a good plus. Okay, so go ahead and get your chairs ready. And I'm going to be starting with these full body stretches in the standing position. But if you prefer, you are welcome to start sitting in your chair as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with a nice wide stance. Whether you are standing or sitting, put those feet nice and wide. Stand or sit up tall with your good tall posture. And we're going to start with those shoulder rolls. Really big rolls of the shoulders, really exaggerate that motion. People's shoulders and backs get really stiff, especially with Parkinson's. So we're going to start with loosening up here, and now let's go the other direction. Big, bring them up towards your ears and then back down. Up towards the ears and then back down. Good, come to a rest, again with that tall posture. And let's go ahead and do some neck stretches now. Bring one ear towards your shoulder. And remember to keep the other shoulder down so that you're getting a nice stretch on the side of your neck. Go over as far as feels comfortable for you. Many people have some neck issues, but go as far as your neck feels comfortable. Go ahead and gently come up and go down to the other side. Again, tilting over with that ear, going towards the shoulder, keeping the opposite shoulder down. We don't want it to turn into a side bend like that, okay? So we're keeping that shoulder down, really just stretching through the neck. And let's gently come back up to the center one more time on each side. Tilt over. Go ahead and take some nice, good deep breaths, breathing in and out. Good. And then we'll come up and over to the other side. Same thing, some deep breaths here, breathing in and out. And as you relax and breathe out, see if you can go just a little bit further, again, without having neck pain. Then back up to the center. This time we're going to do a neck twist. So you're going to turn your head like you're trying to look over your shoulder behind you. And again, take some good deep breaths. And let's come back to the center and to the other side. Now, just like with the last stretch, we're really trying to keep this to the neck. So we're not trying to twist the whole body right now. We're trying to keep the shoulders square and where they're at while just trying to look over our shoulder. And one more time each side. Turn and look over your shoulder. And let's turn and look over our shoulder. Very good. Back to the center. And now we're going to be doing some side stretches. So let's start with just a little warm up where we're going to reach up towards the ceiling, down, reach the other arm up and down, up and down, reaching up as big as you can go. Really big. That's just to kind of loosen up those trunk muscles on the side of our body here. And now we're going to go a little bit deeper into that, and we're going to take one arm and we're going to stretch over to the side, and we're even going to take those hips out and push them the opposite direction. So look at that. I'm getting this really nice deep side stretch through the whole side of my body. I'm stretching a lot of different muscles here, from towards my hip and low back, up into my rib cage and shoulder, Really nice sort of full body stretch here. And again, I'm keeping everything big and activated all the way to my fingertips as I go. And then I'm going to come back up. Now, the beauty of having the chair in front of you is that if you're standing, you can hold on to this for balance if you need to. Okay, but again, of course, these can be done sitting down as well. So if you're sitting, you're just following along with the same types of movements. Good, and repeat on that first side again. Remember, I'm kind of pushing those hips out. And I'm not bending forward. I'm trying to keep this arm and shoulder stacked right on top of the other one. Almost like if I were in between two walls and I was just trying to bend over in between them. And back to the second side. Very good. Come back up. Now, if any of this feels good and you want to do more, you can always pause the video and go deeper into those stretches. Or if something's just taking you a little bit more time, you can always pause as well. That's the beauty of having a recorded stretching video for you to use. Okay, next up is that we're going to do another full body stretch. And I'm going to show this from the side. So you can stay where you are at, but I am just going to be turning my chair. And I'm going to have you step back away from that chair. And if you're standing, you're going to do like I'm doing, where I'm going to bend forward with my arms on the top of the chair, keeping my legs straight. And as you can see, I'm just bending at my hips, really. My back is straight, my legs are straight. And with this, I am feeling a whole stretch from the back of my calves, the back of my legs, to my hips, to my low back, to my upper back, and into those shoulders. This is one of my favorite full body stretches. You can do this on a chair like this. You can do it on a countertop. You can do it on the edge of your bed or a dresser, anywhere you can find really. And this is one I love to just throw in periodically throughout the day because it feels so good. Now, if you're sitting, okay, you could be sitting in your chair and bending over and reaching towards the floor or propping your arms up on another surface in front of you. Okay, now while you're here, you can play with movements like your feet, maybe rolling out into the outsides of your feet and the insides of your feet. You'll feel that stretch a little differently. Or maybe going back and forth with your knees. Okay, if you need to come up for a little bit, if you're feeling a little lightheaded, that's totally fine. But we're going to go ahead and take a couple more breaths here. I'm going to breathe in. And as I breathe out, I'm going to see if I can even relax into that a little bit more. Good. And again, breathe in and out. Great stretch to do. I'm going to carefully, kind of gently come back up. With having our bodies bent forward like that, sometimes you might feel a little lightheaded when you come up, so just see how you feel. And now we're going to go into some more hip and calf stretches in the same position. Okay, we're going to be using the back of the chair for a little bit of balance. I'm going to go ahead and put one leg back behind me. And I'm going to come up tall, and I'm going to be pushing my hips forward. Okay, I'm thinking about my tailbone back here, and I'm thinking about tucking my tailbone underneath me. Okay, give me that little tuck as I push forward, because I'm really trying to open up in the front of the hip right here. Okay, and I can kind of lean into it a little bit more, but you should feel a nice stretch right here on the front of the hip. If you don't feel a good stretch, I encourage you to push into it a little bit more. Nearly everybody is really tight here with Parkinson's and that flex posture that often goes along with it. This can be really tight, as well as just the amount of time that we spend sitting makes these muscles really tight. Let's go and switch to the other side. Put the other foot back. And again, I'm standing up tall. I'm tucking that tailbone as I then kind of lean forward, lunge forward a little bit. And now I'm stretching the other leg, the one you can't see as well. Okay. And feeling that. Now, you may even like to reach an arm up and lean over a little bit, play with it, see what you can feel with that as you go. Great. And go ahead and go back to the first side. I just need to adjust my camera a moment. Good. Okay, and back to the first side here. Pushing those hips forward. Always breathing. And switch to the second side. Pushing those hips forward. Getting that great stretch on those hip flexors. Relaxing into it. We don't want to hold too much tension in our body while we're doing these stretches. This is about really letting those muscles relax and decompress and stretch. Now we're going to be in what looks like a similar position for the next stretch. We're going to put that foot behind us, but this time our focus is going to be on the calf muscle back here, okay? So I'm going to keep my heel down. For me, I'm going to put my foot back there pretty far so that I can try to get a stretch. This time, I'm not so concerned what's going on here. So I am just going to lean forward until I feel a stretch in that calf muscle, that lower leg muscle down there. Might look different for you. You might not have to put your foot back there as far, or maybe you do. A lot of people get very tight in these muscles, especially with Parkinson's. Some people experience dystonia with a real rigid tightness of those muscles, and it often affects the calf muscles. Good. And let's switch over to the other side. Feeling that calf muscle stretch. Now I'm trying to keep that knee straight. However, you can bend it a little bit. That stretches a little bit different of a muscle. But most of you will find that you feel the most effective stretch with that knee straight. But again, play with it and see what feels like the best stretch for you. Good. And switch. Now I should have said, if you are doing a seated option, this is going to be a lot trickier to do. Okay. We will have a later video that is solely while sitting in the chair and getting your stretches in. Okay. So this one is a little harder. If you are able to stand at all, I do encourage you to do this. You could do it leaning up against a wall, something more sturdy if you like. Good. And switch. Great. Okay, now we are going to go to sitting in our chair. So I'm just going to pivot my chair back around here. Go ahead and step around and sit down. Again, if it takes you a little bit longer, feel free to pause the video and get back to it when you're ready. And from here, we are going to go ahead and bring those knees wide. And we're going to do another low back stretch where we're going to bring our elbows down to our knees. Let your head relax into a kind of a neutral position. Now, for many of you, this might be a good stretch on your low back, just right here. For some of you, if that does not feel like much of a stretch, go ahead and see if you can reach towards the floor or even fully hang towards the floor while you are there and get a nice stretch of that low back and most likely your hips as well. But again, remember, you could be staying in this position right here too, okay? Let's go ahead and gently come back up from there. Again, if you're a little lightheaded, give yourself a moment. We're now gonna go into a spine twist. So from here, go ahead and take one hand, grab your opposite thigh. We're gonna twist ourselves around. We're gonna use that hand to kind of pull and push ourselves around. Your other hand, your back hand, can maybe get a little bit of leverage on the chair itself. And you're gonna twist and try to look behind you. And we'll breathe in and out. And as you breathe out, see if you can twist a little bit further. Now, again, the goal is to not have pain. For many people, they experience back pain. So go to a level that feels comfortable, but that is still challenging and pushing yourselves. Many people with Parkinson's get a tremendous amount of rigidity in their spines, okay? And even that twisting motion can be exceptionally difficult. So I encourage you, I challenge you to try to go as far into that twist as you can, but again, it shouldn't be painful. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Take one hand, grab the opposite thigh, and turn yourself. You can use that chair for a little bit of leverage, and twist, looking behind you. So we're doing this all the way through the neck as well. And we're going to breathe in and out, and in and out. Very good. Okay, one more time each side. Hand, opposite thigh. Give yourself a twist. Take a couple good breaths. And as you breathe out, see if you can twist a little further. Relax the body, relax the shoulders. You shouldn't be working too hard, but still pushing. And breathe in and out. One more time to the other side. Hand, opposite thigh, and twist and turn. Breathing in and out. And in and out. Very good. Okay, next up, we are going to do some more inner thigh stretches. So I want you to bring those knees nice and wide. And we're going to put our hands in between those thighs. And we're going to push them apart. Okay, and we're going to get a little bit of a twist in there. I'm really pushing. And then I'm going to go the other way. Push, push, push. And switch again. Push. It's a little bit of an inner thigh stretch as well as a little bit of a spine twist. And push. And push. And push. Good. You could also do some more inner thigh stretches. If that feels really tight, I encourage you to stand and do some more of those as well. Okay, moving along to more hamstring stretches. We did a little bit of this while we were standing, but we can really get a good effective stretch in the seated position. So you're going to be putting one foot out in front of you. Now, I'm going to show you from the side so you can see that a little bit better. I will start with my left leg, but you can choose whichever leg you would like. Again, you can be facing forward in your chair. I'm going to put that leg out in front of me. My toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. My knee is straight. I'm going to sit up tall with a tall spine, and then I'm going to bend forward at my hips while reaching towards my toes. Now, if you reach your toes or not does not matter to me, but just do your best to reach there while keeping your back straight. Of course, I could round my spine and touch my toes, okay? But I want to keep that back straight because it's going to give you the best stretch down the back of your leg while you do that, and that's what we're going for here, okay? And go ahead and do the other side. Okay, I'll show you from the other side. You do not need to switch around like I'm doing. Put that leg out, sitting up tall, toes are pointed towards the ceiling, and I bend forward at the hips with that straight spine, breathing in and out, and in and out. Okay, go back to the first side. We're going to do each side one more time. I will show you from straight on this time. Up tall, toes up towards the ceiling, bend forward at your hips, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Let's switch sides. Bending forward. Okay, again, straight spine, toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Breathe in and out and in and out. Great. We are almost done with our stretching series. We have just a couple more stretches for you. These next one are a fantastic hip stretch, okay? So if you have some hip tightness, which most people do, or back tightness, this can be very effective. Also, if you're somebody that deals with sciatica, this can be a great stretch. But please, if it's painful, do not push into excessive pain. We want it to feel like a good muscle stretch, but not painful or cause any numbness or tingling as you go. So let's go ahead and have you bring one foot up like so, crossing the ankle over the knee. And we're going to start with just sitting up nice and tall, just like we were doing with the last stretch. And I'm staying active through my foot here. I'm kind of keeping that foot flexed. That helps to protect the knee a little bit as we're going. I'm going to sit up tall. You might feel a really big stretch already. And people feel it in different spots. People that are really tight in the back of the hip feel it there. Some people feel it kind of on the inner thigh. But if it's knee pain, please be cautious as you go forward. Now, if this isn't enough of a stretch for you, go ahead and lean forward while maintaining that straight spine. Good. Oh, that's a great, great stretch for the hip. Again, this is a very effective stretch for people that are having hip tightness and back tightness or pain with both of those. Good. And now I'm even going to take that knee and I'm going to push down a little bit more. Okay. But again, if that causes you pain, please be cautious. You do not need to push into that. Now, if you're somebody that's had a hip replacement, please ask your physical therapist about this. There are certain motions that maybe you should be avoiding. But if you've gotten the go-ahead to go into some of these motions, do so with what feels comfortable with your body. And now I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to take that knee and I'm going to hug it, and I'm going to pull it in to my chest. Okay, and that changes that stretch a little bit differently in the hip. Still felt in the hip, but just a little different place than before. And then I'm going to put it down again, and I'm going to kind of push down or lean forward, whichever feels most effective for you, with some good breaths. And then pulling up, giving it a nice hug. Oh, that feels so good. Hurts so good. Good. Okay. And let's put that leg down and we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. And then that will be it for today. So again, crossing my ankle on the opposite thigh, staying active in my foot. Okay. I mean, it's in that kind of flexed position to protect the knee. I'm going to start with sitting up tall. Again, this might be where you stay if this is a good stretch for you. But if you would like more, you can lean forward, or you can press down on that knee with your opposite hand. Again, being cautious if you have had any kind of hip surgery or replacement. Some good breaths. And then I'm going to do the opposite, and I am going to hug and pull that knee into my chest. And then again, repeat, sitting up tall, leaning forward, maybe pushing down. And then hugging and pulling it up to the chest. And then we can put that leg down. And then just take a moment, move around, see how your body feels. Move those shoulders, you move those legs, you can stand up. See how you feel. My hope is that you feel just a little bit better, a little bit more stretched out. These stretches can be very effective when done on a daily basis. So feel free to watch this video as many times as you like to get into a good stretching routine, and we will have more videos in the future with other stretching options. Thank you. This video is brought to you by Synapse Fitness Foundation, a nonprofit empowering people with Parkinson's to live their best lives through exercise, education, and connection to others. The presenter of today's video is Dr. Kelly Becker, physical therapist and founder of Synapse Fitness Foundation. If you found today's video useful, please click the like button and forward this video onto somebody that you think would find this useful. Thank you.